Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 85. Thanks for joining us, whether you're new to the show or maybe a seasoned listener. This program, Tech It Out, which is syndicated by Radio America, it launched back in July of 2017, with the podcast starting about 6 or 7 months later. So I hope you've been enjoying it so far. We do have a great show planned for you this hour. In a moment from now, we'll chat with Toyota about automotive technology, including self-driving car tech. We'll talk this hour about virtual physiotherapy through your mobile device with Phyxable, and they're spelled Phyxable. Ahead of spring break, we'll also talk about an alternative to paying the airlines for your luggage. What else can you do? We'll talk with LugLess about that. And speaking of travel, we'll chat with SkyScanner about booking your next trip and why, and a lot more on today's show. All right, let's kick things off. If you were at the recent Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, you no doubt saw how automotive tech is becoming a much bigger part of the show year in and year out. And once again, Toyota was there to showcase its next generation research vehicle, the P4. It's based on a Lexus LS 500H, and it was used to demonstrate smart and safe autonomous driving tech. Joining us on the line to chat about it is Ryan Eustace. He's the Senior Vice President of Automated Driving at the Toyota Research Institute, or TRI for short. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of Toyota Motor North America. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate the opportunity.
Great. So I understand that there are 4 main mandates to Toyota Research Institute. So please walk us through them.
Sure. Well, the 4 mandates that we have within TRI is firstly to enhance the safety of automobiles. Secondly, to then increase access to cars to those who are otherwise unable or cannot drive. Thirdly, to translate Toyota's expertise in creating products for outdoor mobility into products for indoor mobility. And finally, the last mandate is really to use AI in terms of accelerating scientific discovery by applying basically our techniques from artificial intelligence and machine learning to, say, new material discovery for, say, better battery chemistry.
Got it. Okay, so we're not just talking about self-driving cars here or fully autonomous vehicles, but I know that much of your effort is geared towards making the ride safer, whether a human is behind the wheel or in the near future, the vehicle is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So I guess it's safe to say, Ryan, that today we have what's often referred to as semi-autonomous aids. So things like adaptive cruise control and blind spot sensors and lane change alerts and all that to help us stay safer on the roads. And no doubt it's making a difference. But in the near future, we are talking about fully autonomous vehicles. How far out do you think that is? And why do you think Toyota is doubling down on this technology?
Yeah, great. Thanks for the question. So, yeah, in the autonomous vehicles, I mean, there's obviously a lot of interest both in the public space and industry. A lot of efforts kind of being poured into this right now. And I think one of the things that to help calibrate everybody, when we talk about, fully autonomous vehicles, I think, the first introduction of technology like that into the marketplace, it's not going to be a car that you own. I think, so there's these different kind of levels of autonomy that you often hear referred to. So the Society of Automotive Engineers has this kind of SAE level of this 0 to 5 scale of autonomy. And when we talk about these levels 4 and 5, that's when the human strictly is a passenger and the car is responsible for the driving task. Now, the difference between a level 4 and level 5 is that level 4 assumes that there's some restricted operational domains. That can be a geographic area, it could be weather limited, it could be traffic conditions limited. I think you're going to first see a fully autonomous systems kind of deployed in really these level 4 scenarios, and primarily probably as part of a mobility as a service type of application where it's really, think about it as a robotaxi or kind of car on demand. And part of the reasoning for that is that in that type of scenario, it better really fits the customer's expectations in the sense that, if I were to own a car, right, and expect it to be a level 4 capability at any time, well, it'd be a real bummer if I wanted the thing to take me home and it couldn't because of the weather. And so and additionally on top of that, there's also kind of a cost perspective that, personally owned vehicles today, we drive them about 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, they're either sitting in our parking lot or in our driveway. And so when you think about it also from the cost perspective in terms of some of the sensing and compute that needs to go into these systems, in the robotaxi scenario, the utilization is much higher, and so you can afford to put that instrumentation on it. Mm-hmm. And in terms of when the technology is arriving, it's actually some of it's here today. So actually, through our Toyota AI Ventures, we actually, one of the companies that a startup that we have funded is a company called May Mobility, and they're actually have deployed and are offering a level 4 low-speed kind of shuttle service in downtown Detroit today. And so, depending on how you can constrain that operational design domain, you can actually begin to field some of these level 4 systems today. I think what the public's really interested in, though, is like, when do we get to a system that's just really more unrestricted, right? It can kind of go anywhere, anytime. And that's the real challenge, I think, for the whole industry. And that, I think, is still many years off.
All right. So no hard year that you'd want to predict. I've heard other automotive makers predicting certain years, 2021 or 2023. Obviously, there's other things like legislative hurdles, right? Insurance implications. Yeah, right. There's a lot of other things.
Yeah, it's not just the technology. As you exactly said, there's the societal kind of implications of this in terms of the technology's adoption, as well as, the regulatory kind of legal hurdles that need to be addressed with this. I think the really unique view that Toyota kind of brings to this space, though, is that as we're working on the core technology that supports the self-driving application, we have kind of two aims with this technology. So ultimately getting to what we call the level 4 kind of Toyota chauffeur system, where the human's the passenger and the car strictly is responsible for the driving task. But the other application that we see in the near term is what we call Toyota Guardian, where we use all the same core of that automated driving technology, but really in the mindset of, can we build an uncrashable Toyota, a vehicle that works with you? So the human still is the primary driver, but it's really like a super advanced driver assist system to think about, how do we have a general purpose kind of capability to don't leave the road, don't hit things, and don't get hit. And now, it sounds really easy to say, but to really develop an AI system that kind of has that holistic understanding in terms of perception, prediction, and planning to reason about the world and to help be a backup really for the human to help prevent those types of crashes. It's still a really hard technical problem.
We're chatting with Ryan Eustace. We're talking about technology and vehicles. We just saw Toyota at the Consumer Electronics Show showing off its Guardian system. Is it safe to say, Ryan, that these are a bunch of sensors, cameras, things like LiDAR and radar and other aids, other tools around the vehicle that help keep it safe, as you've been saying, prevent an accident from happening, speeding up and slowing down to avoid a collision, that kind of thing?
Exactly. Yeah. So the Platform 4 that we showed at CES is one of the vehicles in our research test fleet as we're developing this technology. And so in terms of the type of sensing that it has both LiDAR, optical camera systems, radar, and additionally, we also think about using maps. So that we can pre-map the environment in advance, and the car is able to correlate what it sees with its sensors with the map data to kind of really know where it is, and that helps it understand the rules of the road, if you will. And so all that information can be combined in the AI system to really have it have a high level awareness when it comes to perceiving the environment, predicting then what we think the future is going to be in terms of other drivers and other pedestrians. And then based upon that prediction, it's able to then plan and kind of work with the human to think about how the vehicle should assist or work with the driver.
Got it. So that Guardian system that was showcased at CES, just to clarify, this is part of what's called the P4 technology. That's your latest iteration of this modified Lexus, just to show what's possible, but nothing's been deployed yet on a mass scale.
Yeah, this is part of our internal R&D test fleet. So with the P4 system, we use that both for our technology development on the Toyota Chauffeur system as well as for the Toyota Guardian application. And it's part of our R&D fleet that we have here within TRI, and we use it both for closed course testing, in particular some of the test tracks that we actually own here in Michigan, cool, as well as we use it for public road driving.
All right, awesome, Ryan. So the best place to learn more about Toyota's technology and your work with TRI, and what would be the best place to go to?
Sure. Well, at our website, which is www.tri.global. Also, we have a Twitter account at Toyota Research. And we also have a YouTube channel where, in particular, you can find actually Gil Pratt gave a talk at CES just a couple weeks ago. And you can learn all the latest about our technology and karting.
Okay, great. The website, once again, is www.tri.global. And as you mentioned, there's also a Twitter and YouTube channel as well. Ryan Eustace, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Hey, if you're into automotive tech and you want to hear more of it on Tech It Out, hit me up on social media to let me know what you think of the show. Any suggestions on upcoming topics or guests? I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And my name is spelled Mark with a C, SALTZMAN. Would love to hear from you. Before we continue on with the program, Tech It Out is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much, much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with SkyScanner to hear about saving money and time and frustration while booking your next trip. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. 'Tis the season for travel, but how do you know you're getting the best possible price? How would you feel, for example, if the person right beside you on the same flight paid $150 less for their seat? Well, SkyScanner is a travel fare aggregator website and app and search engine that claims to help you find the best deal on flights, hotels, and car rentals. Joining us to talk about SkyScanner, how it works, who it's for, and to share some travel tips, we've got Marissa Hills on the line. She's a market growth lead at SkyScanner. Welcome to the show, Marissa.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for carving out some time to chat. For those who haven't yet heard of SkyScanner, can you tell us a bit about the company?
Yes. SkyScanner is an online meta search site. So we offer free and unbiased flight, hotel, and car rental options to over 80 million travelers around the world who trust us each month to help them find their next trip.
Okay, meta search engine. How is that different than a regular search engine like Google or Bing?
Unlike other travel sites that you're used to, SkyScanner as a meta search site searches hundreds of airlines, hotels, car rentals, and online travel agency websites in literally seconds to bring all of the options into one place. And with this, we work with over 1,200 global partners to make this happen. Another way to think of us is that we're a one-stop shop comparison website. We believe this makes booking travel easier because it helps our users find the best deal available.
All right, so a meta search engine includes other search engines behind the scenes. So you type what you're looking for, and it scours through all these other sites and engines as well. That's basically how it works. So as you said, it's a one-stop shop. You just go to the SkyScanner website or the app, and that's all you need to get the lowest price on what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So walk us through how it works. So let's say someone listening right now wants to travel from New York to Los Angeles. How do we get going? What's the next step?
As mentioned, when travelers input their desired flight or hotel destination or even their car rental pickup, the first thing they'll notice is that we're scanning literally hundreds of travel options. So we're filtering by common preferences like the cost, the duration, or even the time that we're looking to travel. Once you're ready to book, SkyScanner redirects the traveler to our partner site to complete their booking. There are no hidden fees or higher costs from doing this. In fact, you'll find the same price on the SkyScanner website as you will directly on the airline, hotel, or car rental site. At SkyScanner, we are never charging a service fee to our users. Okay,
so there's no service fee, and the price that you see, it is from another place. It's just that you start at SkyScanner, like it's like a third party in a way, right? Like it could be the best deal is from United or Air Canada or another airline third party site, right? But you just start at SkyScanner.
Yes, and I think something to probably call in at this point is our founder, Gareth Williams. This idea kind of came in place back in 2003 because he was an engineer who loved and was just an avid skier. So he wanted to really find a way to pull in all of these different prices into one place. And this was really how SkyScanner was born. And it initially started really just as a simple Excel spreadsheet. So since then, we've really grown into this aggregator that has pulled in all of these different pricings for our users.
Got it. We're chatting with Marissa Hills. She's a market growth lead at SkyScanner, a very popular website and app to find deals on travel. You know, I've been doing this manually, Marissa. So there are sites that I use to, for example, car rentals. I'm going to Vancouver soon. So I went to Avis and I found that it was going to cost me $61 a day to rent the same vehicle that was $38 on budget. But I had to manually look for that difference and type in where, you know, the city I'm going to and the kind of vehicle I wanted. And I found that discrepancy and then jumped on the less expensive one. You just need to go to SkyScanner to that one place. And then that's how you're going to find the lowest rates when you type in your criteria. That's essentially how it works.
Exactly. And as I mentioned earlier, we work with 1,200 global partners. So we really have the coverage around the world to be able to serve you the cheapest price.
Now, it's not always about the cheapest price, as you mentioned earlier. There's other things that are important to you, like with travel, like how many stops is that plane going to take and what hours and what airline. Like you may have like a frequent flyer number with one airline and you want to stick with them. So you can type in that information so you only fly with that one airline that you want, that kind of thing, correct?
Yeah, and I think that it's worth mentioning that we're travelers too at SkyScanner. So we really try to build products and services that will help our travelers find these unbelievable vacation deals. So we're trying to customize to our users as much as possible.
Okay. As we wrap up here, Marissa, are there any tips that you've got for travelers, maybe on leveraging mobile devices or any other tips and tricks that you could suggest generically?
I would just say that whether you have an unlimited budget or set amount that you're willing to spend on your next trip, we at SkyScanner really believe in giving travelers all the choices and helping them make informed decisions. So we don't have any hidden fees or we don't charge commissions, and we'll never use cookies to alter our pricing. I think as far as tips go, something that might be interesting is we find that in the U.S. and in Canada, that typically booking 4 to 5 weeks out from your desired time of travel will kind of get you the best bang for your buck.
So don't wait to the last minute, because I think the opposite is what many people do. They think, oh, I'm going to get a good deal because that airline is like left without a couple of seats and they want to fill it up. So they'll have a fire sale. That's not the case.
No.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So SkyScanner, it's a free app, or you just go to the website, skyscanner.com. And then you start right away, or do you need to register or anything? I know it's free to use, but you have to sign up for an account.
Nope. Just go right in and do your search for your next trip.
Okay. Marissa Hills, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Same to you.
When we continue on Tech It Out, we're going to continue the thread of travel, of course, with spring break coming up, and for our Canadian listeners, March break. And we are going to talk with LugLess. This is an alternative to paying the airline for your checked baggage. We'll learn how LugLess works when we return. Stay with us. You're listening to Tech It Out. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. As you likely know, airlines today have significantly raised its baggage fees for checked suitcases, as much as $30 or $40 per bag in some cases. So the answer is either packing less to save, carrying your bag on the airplane if it'll fit in the overhead compartment, or there's a new option called LugLess. Joining us on the line to explain what it is, we've got Aaron Curley. He's the president of LugLess. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
So let's dive right in. What is LugLess?
Well, LugLess is really the first cost-competitive alternative to checking your luggage with the airlines when you travel. So we really leverage technology to make it super easy and intuitive to ship luggage with either UPS or FedEx when you travel instead of checking a bag.
And then how do you time it so that your bag shows up when you do? And do you send it to the hotel that you're staying at, for example?
Yeah, that's a good question. So actually, unlike when you check your bag with the airlines, when you ship your bag with LugLess, you need to either have it shipped either a day or more before you travel. We have different services, tiering in price. So like our faster services are more expensive than our slower services. So if you can book out 3 to 5 days, you can actually get the price of shipping a bag often less than checking a bag.
Yeah, so I read that it's as low as $15, which sounds very competitive, especially when you compare that to today's rates for checking a bag with many airlines, including discount airlines.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In fact, so our prices do start around $15. That's for like maybe a bag up to about 25 pounds. A 50-pound bag pricing starts maybe around $25 for that. Okay. So, yep.
And is LugLess an app? Is it a website? And why would somebody use LugLess opposed to, say, shipping their bag just directly through FedEx or UPS?
So LugLess is a website, so you can book online at LugLess.com, similar to how you'd book an airline ticket. The reason you'd go to us directly instead of going to UPS or FedEx is because we actually just make it a whole lot easier and less expensive than going direct to UPS and FedEx.
If you don't mind me asking, how do you manage that? I mean, how do you make it cheaper than what these couriers can offer directly?
Well, it's because we do tremendous volume with them, and so we have bulk discounts with the carriers, and we really pass on those savings directly to our users. And the way we make money is we actually sell support plans on top of UPS and FedEx that you can pay for if you'd like to.
Cool. We're chatting with Aaron Curley. He's the president of LugLess. It's the first cost-competitive alternative to checking bags at the airport. So walk us through then the process, Aaron. Walk us through a typical scenario. So let's say I'm flying from New York to LA on March the 15th. What do I need to do in advance?
All right, so the way you would use LugLess is you'd go on to LugLess.com and you'd enter in your origin and destination airport or addresses, and you'd get some pricing similar to how you book an airline ticket. After you choose the service and the bag categories that you want to ship, you simply print shipping labels off LugLess.com. You pack as you normally would, and then you take your luggage to either a UPS or a FedEx drop point. There's over 10,000 of them in the U.S., so they're usually within a couple miles of where most people live. Or we can arrange a doorstep pickup for an additional fee right from your home. And the next time you see your luggage, it's at your hotel. If you're traveling to an Airbnb or something similar, we can even have your luggage held nearby for pickup when you arrive in town.
Okay, got it. And most hotels will hold a bag for you pro bono, right? I mean, there's exceptions, but I've as a frequent traveler, I review electronics and things, so I can often have shipments waiting for me when I get there, and there's no holding fee in many cases.
That's exactly right. And so when you check in at the hotel, they'll say, Mr. Salzman, we have a package waiting for you, and you can either collect it at the front desk or have them bring it right to your room.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about a service like LugLess?
Historically, shipping luggage has really been something for kind of like the rich and the famous, so people think it's sort of out of reach financially. And what we've done with LugLess is we've kind of flipped that whole model on its head. We rely heavily on technology, so it's not, our cost structure is much more lean, and so we're able to offer luggage shipping, at a price similar to checking a bag.
Not to mention, everybody's got a horror story about lost luggage, and and it's not like it can't happen with a courier, but it seems like it would be a lot less likely, at least based on my experience.
Yeah, I mean, we're backed by the reliability of UPS and FedEx. They publish on-time percentages in the high 90s, 98, 99%, where if you look at the airline on-time percentages, they're historically in the low 90s, 94, 93% range. So yeah, it is more reliable than checking.
And just to clarify, for the least expensive options, that would be for you to drop off your bag at a UPS or a FedEx drop-off depot, opposed to having it being picked up at your doorstep. And it would also be for a smaller bag rather than a big, heavy suitcase, correct?
Yes, that's right. But you can, for instance, ship a 50-pound suitcase from New York to Chicago for $28 in 3 days. So, it's still quite affordable for even a larger suitcase.
And again, the only real catch is that you just have to think ahead a bit and ship your luggage a day or two before you actually fly out.
Yes, that's right. And so for some people, that seems like a deal breaker. But from my point of view, you got to pack one way or the other. If you pack a few days earlier, the night before your flight, you're not up till midnight scrambling to put your stuff together. In fact, you already know your luggage is waiting for you at your hotel. Mm-hmm. So,
and if there were things like medication or whatever that you wanted to use up to the day you travel, you could just bring that with you on your carry-on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, most people ship a large bag and bring a small carry-on of, essentials or whatever.
All right, Aaron. So finally, the website to learn more, and I'm assuming there's lots of information at that site about restrictions and just rules and all that. What's the website?
The website is LugLess.com, LugLess.com.
Okay, and that's where you would print out the baggage information as well.
Yep, everything's right there online.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much for your time. Sounds like a great idea, so I appreciate you sharing that with me and my audience.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, what do you think of this idea of LugLess? Good idea or not? You can hit me up on Twitter, Mark_Saltzman. That's Mark with a C, _SALTZMAN. This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS, the title sponsor on the program, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. You can visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. We'll be back shortly with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Hey, welcome back to Tech It Out. What if you can get pain relief and physical therapy and rehab with therapists and doctors with decades of experience, but without leaving your home? Well, a new online platform called Phyxable may be able to help. Spelled Phyxable, Phyxable was designed to help you with pain and overcome minor injuries through video programs. And now joining us on the line to walk us through how it works is Dr. Jimmy Fang, co-founder and CEO of Phyxable. Welcome to the show, Dr. Fang.
How are you, Mark?
I'm great, thank you. And congrats on the launch of this new app, which is a gateway to the platform, from what I understand. So let's just start right from the top. What is Phyxable's mission statement?
Yeah, Phyxable empowers people to start fixing their aches and pains at the comfort of their own home. And we're really pushing for people to start preventing injuries in the future as well. Our mission is actually to help 25 million people in the next 5 years to get out of pain.
All right, and let's chat about how it works. So as I hinted at in the introduction, Dr. Fang, it's a video platform that works through mobile devices. And can you talk to us about how this differs from a traditional visit to a clinic?
Absolutely. So I've been practicing for the past 10 years, and we've noticed that half the people walking through the doors, they're able to start fixing their own aches and pains with rehabilitation exercises that can be done at home. These are exercises that are based in research. So we have a team of 14 practitioners that takes this really heavy research-based solutions, and we dumb it down to very simplistic, easy to follow videos and feedback tools within the app to not only engage with you and show you the right solution, but also give you feedback as to how well you're doing over time.
All right. So obviously the benefit to a clinic, and you've, as you said, you've run successful ones over the last decade or so. The benefit there is having a physician or a clinician right there with you, that they can show you and physically touch your pain points and work you through some rehab or some exercises. So in this case, though, because it's done remotely, this is a video instruction. Is it pre-recorded? Is it live? And can you get comparable results by doing it yourself?
Absolutely. So we found that our initial test group that were using the solutions were 45% of them were getting even better results than your typical clinic, because it notifies you to actually do your exercises and do your preventative on a daily basis. So you're actually always kind of progressing along the way. In regards to the solution being the right solution for you, we're actually building AI into the solution, so it gives you the right solution at the right time and it progresses you in the right levels.
And just to go back, so these are not live videos with a clinician. This is pre-recorded videos that you would follow through?
Correct. The exercises are pre-recorded videos, but we will have a concierge that kind of will address some of your pain points and what solutions are best for you as well.
And speaking of pain points, what are the areas of the body that you specialize in?
We're eventually going to have solutions for just about every injury and physical ailment, but we start with a basic thing like posture. Posture is, it's something that's been in the news more recently with little gadgets, and as well as ergonomics. And then we work towards low back pain, which 8 out of 10 people suffer from. And usually they break down to 2 different types. So it's pretty easy to create protocols for. We'll have neck pain. We'll have, for runners, IT band injuries, runner's knee, your basic solutions.
And I understand you can also help people who suffer from headaches as well.
Correct.
Talk to us about that, because that's less about physical therapy or physiotherapy and more about just pain management.
Absolutely. So headaches breaks down to a few different types of headaches. The one that we really focus on are cervicogenic in origin, meaning coming from the neck. And they're little suboccipital muscles or muscles right underneath the neck that causes these issues. And we can address those by using a simple tool as a foam roller and 3 different exercises, actually.
We're chatting with Dr. Jimmy Feng. He's the CEO and co-founder of Phyxable. That's Phyxable. Who would you say this app is for? Is it for maybe younger sort of millennials who are more comfortable with a virtual tool like this? Or is it for maybe on the flip side, older folks who may not be as easily able to go to a nearby clinic?
We have 2 different models. Our main demographic is about 25 to 45-year-olds, and are people who probably are not very physically active, just have been in the workforce and just noticing that their bodies are starting to wear down. The other are use cases actually at old age homes where the lead exercise practitioner actually takes our solutions, guided video solutions, and gives it to a group of older population.
Okay. And so what do you need to get going? Again, I know it's an app, and we'll talk about pricing in a moment, but does it work with both iPhone and Android devices?
Yeah. Our current version is available on the Google Play as well as the App Store, and you can just download that right now. We have another version coming out at the end of March, actually, that's going to be really guided and smart. We're building some machine learning, so it gives you the better solutions.
When we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue our chat with Phyxable, and I'm going to specifically ask about how these videos leverage artificial intelligence. You know, if it's a one-way video, how does it help you or personalize that therapy session with the patient? So I'm curious to know about that, and I've got some other questions in mind. And you can hit me up on social media to tell me what you think about Phyxable, or if you use Phyxable and you like it. Again, it's spelled Phyxable. I'm on Twitter at Mark_Saltzman. That's Mark with the C underscore or underline SALTZMAN. You can join the conversation. You could use the hashtag TechItOut if you like, and let me know what you think of this service, this 21st century alternative to physiotherapy. So love to hear from you. But when we return, we will continue our chat with Phyxable as we wrap up our final segment for this week's show. Coming up in a few moments, you're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Dr. Jimmy Feng, co-founder and CEO of Phyxable. That's spelled Phyxable. We're learning about a way to get pain relief, physiotherapy, and rehab with therapists and doctors through your phone instead of going to see someone in person. Now, before the break, Dr. Feng, you mentioned how these videos will apply AI or artificial intelligence. Can you give us an example on how AI or machine learning would affect the videos if it's pre-recorded, and how do you get that feedback loop in there?
Right. So it asks you questions along the way as to how well you're getting over time, as well as it'll ask you the right orthopedic questions. So it points you to the right solutions. And and also it caters and learns from the platform and learns from the signs and symptoms from patients. And over time, we can actually create better solutions and better research for actually in-house, in-clinic use as well, which exercise really work.
I was just going to say, I'm sure you can benefit from the data on that. Is there or will there be a web version for those who prefer to do this in front of a computer?
Yes, they'll be with the March launch.
Okay, there you go. And then finally, how much does Phyxable cost?
As cheap as $5 a month on a subscription basis, and we're actually lobbying to get our solutions covered by your work benefits.
Oh, and what's the process like for that? Do you have to? It sounds challenging, but you have to.
Yeah,
apply.
We're currently in late talks with 2 insurance companies right now. So our main thing is to get that adopted as just ability for you to submit your forms when you pay for Phyxable to get that covered. And eventually we want to be a preferred providers because ultimately our solution is significantly cheaper. It's actually up to 95% cheaper than your traditional in-clinic cost, which, you still need clinic care. I believe there's still hands-on stuff and acupuncture and things that you can definitely use hands-on care. We're not the end-all be-all solution for every solution, but it's a great starting point. And we also refer back to the clinics when it's something that we can't cover.
Okay, so for some, depending on what they're suffering from, it may be just enough and what they can afford as well sounds like the price of a cup of coffee per month. But for others, it would augment what they can do in person, such as, acupuncture and other hands-on therapies that could better help that condition. So that makes sense. And it isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. I respect that. All right, so the website to learn more is Phyxable.com, right? Phyxable, or you can just go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app to get going.
Correct.
All right, Dr. Jimmy Feng, thank you. Thanks so much for your time and good luck with Phyxable.
Thank you, Mark.
For the remaining moments on this week's Tech It Out, I thought I'd dip into the old mailbag and answer some questions from you, our valued listeners. One is asking about videos on their smartphone. I have too many of them, so much that I've run out of storage. I've moved these videos to my computer, but do you know of any free software I can use to create a DVD to show my family? So you've successfully accomplished the first step, which is to transfer the videos from your smartphone to a computer. That's great. The next step is to create a slideshow that you can either upload to social media or burn to a disc, as you talked about, playing it, back in a DVD player or a Blu-ray player or a game console. So you've got those two choices. One is to keep it digital. Another one is to copy those files onto a piece of plastic to play elsewhere. While it's not part of Windows any longer, you can still download Windows Movie Maker if you're familiar with that program. You could just Google Windows Essentials to find and download that. And it is easy to drag and drop the photos and videos into the desired order. You can add transition sequences and special effects, add music and captions, and even narration if you like. There are other highly rated and free movie making programs as well. And of course, for Mac, Apple's own iMovie may already be pre-installed on your computer, and that's a great pick right there. Next up, make sure that you have an internal or external DVD burner to create that disc, or copy the video to a USB thumbstick, a thumb drive, and plug it into many new TVs, or upload it right to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram if you like. And then finally, be sure that you back up those irreplaceable photos and home videos. Maybe you're going on spring break, like we talked about this hour, and you don't want to lose those movies, so upload them to a free cloud provider like Microsoft's OneDrive, there's Dropbox, iCloud, or Google Drive, to name a few. And also hedge your bets. Also do offline storage, like a hard drive from Western Digital or a flash drive from SanDisk, for example. You could send me your tech questions too at tech@marksaltzman.com. That's TECH@MARCSALTZMAN, or you can hit me up on social media. Thank you to my sponsor. Tech It Out is brought to you by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio to check out all of their cool products. Again, that's asus.com/US/radio. And yes, the company is pronounced ASUS. I know that for years I called it Asus, and many other people do it as well, but they've clarified with me that it's ASUS. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Wishing you a fantastic week ahead, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.